3, 2.
Hello there.
Hello.
We have got the one and only Scott Wilson
Hi.
of Uzi Games, and we've done a bit of green room chat just to ease him in and get rid of those pre-show nerves and jitters. Not for him, but for me. So we've done our little preludes. We've hit the go live button, and I think we need to do a little bit of this. Tell you what, I love it when we do that. Bit Hitchcock, a bit Planet of the Apes. What do you think there, Scott?
Brilliant. Rocking.
That's what we like. A bit of that. Right then, we are going to do our spiel, and then we're going to, and it's going to be all about the who, what, and why of us listening to you, with us interjecting with the odd question. Right, and Azrael is speaking tonight to Uzi Games. We are the 5 Pillars of Storytelling, and we're live, and we're doing art, comics, movies, games, and toys with a particular focus on games tonight for the first time. It's Sunday, the 14th of December, and we're speaking about CYBERDRIFTER. It's 7 p.m., just after, a little bit after Greenwich Mean Time, and we've got that wee cheeky chappy there on the show, resplendent in the tartan kilt and VR headset. We like that, especially when
I've actually got tartan pajamas on, but I wasn't going to tell you that.
Well, yeah, mighty stylish, we've got to say. And when we saw the dance, we thought, got to quote that sometime. Please like, comment, and subscribe to Scott Uzi Games on X. That is formerly known as Twitter, and sub to his YouTube channel. And for ourselves, 5 Pillars of Storytelling on X. And yeah, we've got a YouTube channel as well. It is Azrael footnote 9. It is the 5 Pillars of Storytelling as well. It's free to do. It takes a second or two of your time. Every follow we get helps shine a brighter light on indie devs. Everyone counts. It's another brick in the wall. We call it the power of one. Everyone counts. It's a force multiplier. Right then, let's move on. Introduction. Hello there. Welcome to the 5 Pillars of Storytelling Live, where we talk art, comics, movies, games tonight, and toys. That's YouTube letting us know through our notifications and mail. We're all live. Thanks for that. I'm your host, Azrael, storyteller and artist for most indie creators, indie comics, and the indie comic community. A particular focus of ours at the 5 Pillars of Storytelling on X. Our style is universal. We can be watched by creative families. Our motto is to listen, learn, and share. Inspiring quote normally is from a manga legendary artist, but this time we thought we'd get down with our 8-bit roots. Gameplay, über alles. Jeff Mitter's defining design rule. And if you can make it psychedelic too, great. He believes in creating surrealistic worlds that go to places that no one ever imagined before, rather than emulating reality. And we think that Touchstone, 8-bit Wars foundational 8-bit programmer, has probably something in common with our beloved creative leader tonight, Scott Wilson. Now then, guest introduction. So they don't have to say boastful things, and most indie creators we find are quite modest and shy and retiring types. So we'll say it for them. It's always nice to get a compliment from somebody else, yeah? Guest introduction, Uzi Games. Here's our pros for them. CYBERDRIFTER at Uzi Games 2016 on X. Scott Wilson is a solely indie VR dev at Aberdeen, Scotland. Where else? At Shackle L3R. Just launched CYBERDRIFTER on Steam, 12/12/2025. 2 exclamation marks for that. The culmination of a 5-year Joseph Campbell hero's journey. Enter, and here's the sales pitch, though if you look at it, It doesn't need any. Enter the neon-lit world of cyberspace armed with your data disk and cybercycle to end the spread of a virtualized virus in VR. I, Vector Vern, from probably the best Tron game Tron never made. If you're a fan of Tron movie, you're in for an I, Vector cooking. Welcome Scotland's flagship indie game developer, Scott Wilson of Uzi Games.
Thank you for having me, Kyle. Pleasure to be here.
No problem, sir. We have been thinking, you know what? Let's ask him. Let's see what he says. And then he said yes, and we thought, what can we say? Got to do it. The big
no.
5 questions. Scott, are you ready? Shall we go in?
Yeah. Hit me
We're
with
going
them.
in. Let's do it. Right then. Who is Scott Wilson? Storytelling influences, gaming game journey, favorite movies, and that battle music we were just talking about in the green room chat.
Yep.
You know, you're at an indie game developer conference. What kind of music would you have? So take it away. Who is Scott Wilson?
Okay, who is Scott Wilson? Right, Scott Wilson is from a wee town in Alloa called Alloa in Scotland. It's close to Stirling. You've probably heard of Stirling Castle. So I lived there for 16 years and then moved down to a little place called Thurnscoe, which is between Doncaster and Barnsley down in England. Lived there for a few years. Missed Scotland, came back up to Scotland again. Then moved back down to Doncaster and that again for certain reasons. Came back up again, and now I'm up in Aberdeen. And so that's where my probably my game journey started. I was made redundant in 2016. Okay. At that time, I was delivering life rafts to like harbours, to boats, and picking them up so they could get maintained. Not a great job for somebody who doesn't like heights or can't swim, but I got on with it. And it was always fun going right up to the top of the boats to hand in the notes to the captain so he could sign them off while I was holding on for dear life. But anyway, I was made redundant 2016 and just wondering what to do with myself next. And I seen something I think came up on Twitter about you could use the game engine Unreal Engine 4 to make something like in virtual reality, and actually stand inside it and use virtual reality, because obviously I was into virtual reality at the time. So that's where my game journey began. How I got interested into making and developing games though takes me way back to obviously when I was in Alloa. I had a VIC-20, I had a Commodore 64 and an Amiga, and I'd done some like basic coding on that. But then I took a break from that, and it was just mostly gaming from then on. But there was this game came out called Little Big Planet, which I'm sure you've all heard of, and that's what gave me the bug. So I decided to make a little platforming game. It was like Alien inspired. Unfortunately, it doesn't work anymore because they've done some updates and it broke, because I would love to go back to it and have a look at it. But it was actually a problem solving aspect that I really enjoyed. You know, I'd try and make something, then it wouldn't work. I'm try and figure out how I can sort that out. And that's really the thing that's always stuck in my head, how to figure out the problems. So anyway, I took a break from that, never thought about programming or anything after doing that little jaunt. Then maybe had a little jaunt on the Mario game maker as well, made a couple of levels on that, and then probably had a big stint from there. Then that takes me to the 2016 stage. I got into VR probably couple of years beforehand. I think I started off with a DK2, which was before the Oculus Rift came out.
Yeah. The
one that you could actually buy. So the DK2 was like a developer one. I bought that from YouTube. It was actually somebody at my work came in with one of those Google Cardboard things, and I put it on, and I was just blown away that I could stand inside a virtualized world. And that's when I totally got the bug. So anyway, yeah, I'm going off in tangents. But back to going on to Unreal 4 when I got made redundant. So what I did was I built like a little house, and then it came to making a door in virtual reality. And anybody who works in virtual reality will tell you that making a door in virtual reality is a lot of problem solving. Because obviously there's issues of open the door in and out, how you do it. If it bangs into you, what happens then? Does it go flying off into the air like Twilight Zone or stuff like that? Yeah, anyway, that's the thing that got me the hook, was
That's what got
actually
you the hook.
figuring out how the door worked.
How the door works in virtual reality. Does it fly off into the cosmos, or does it stay?
Yes.
When we did our MA in computer animation, Scott, the one thing we had to really wrap our head around was when our mathematics professor said, it doesn't matter where the vector is in space. You have to have a starting point, and it's relative too. Scott's got his vector in space where he is at Aberdeen. We're at the Middle Kingdom, and so we're relative vectors, and that is where you start from home, so to speak, in a virtualized space, and then you build it from there. Yeah. So we've got Tim Olsen, or we call him Tim the Passion Olsen. He is a regular visitor to our chat. Hi, Tim. And he says, "Do you make games?" Well, let's tell him. Let's tell him, Scott.
Yes, this is my second title. So the first title I actually made it in 3 months. So as I was saying, like when I got into Unreal Engine and I was making that door, I ended up turning this house into a horror game.
Go on.
I managed to make it and release it within 3 months, and that was a game called Marlene. And it actually done quite well. It made about £2,000, and I thought that's gave me the bug, so I want to make my next one. So yeah, I've made 2 games so far, Tim.
Very good.
Both been virtual reality games.
Tell you what, both in virtual reality. I tell you what.
So I started my game dev right in the deep end rather than starting like a little little puzzle game on a flat screen, you know.
Yeah, you've gone right in the deep end there. I'm impressed, Scott. Quite 2 virtual reality games. That is called the deep end of a gaming swimming pool, isn't it?
Sure.
Right then. Tell you what. Oh, wait a minute, but not so fast. Tell you what. Game Journey, yes. Vic 20, 2 VR games, deep end. We get that. What's your favorite movie?
My favorite movie is The Exorcist.
Okay. Yeah.
And it's not just for the horror aspect. I just think it's the most well-made movie. Cinematography, script, everything. Plus, I'm a huge horror fan anyway. So, and Billy Friedkin was just a master of cinema.
Tell you what, it's got that suspense, hasn't it? It's a well-made movie, Exorcist. No question about that.
No.
Now, you're at the Gaming Awards. Let's say you're a nominee, or you're at a gaming convention. What is your band, your favorite song? What's your gaming business plan battle music?
Oh, well, I come on to Guns N' Roses, You Could Be Mine. It's just the tune to come on stage with. And hopefully with Arnold Schwarzenegger next to me, that'd be quite handy too.
Yeah, absolutely. If he's your bodyguard, it's there's going to be no problems about getting that reward.
Maybe next year.
And what is the one track that we are not allowed to talk on when that Death Spiral guitar solo is happening, Scott?
Nobody speaks during November Rain. That's the rule in this house.
Just saying, folks. You don't know how we knew that, but just don't speak during November Rain, especially.
Never interrupt Slash.
Don't interrupt Slash. He's got the Death Spiral down pat. Right then, we couldn't resist including this 5-year journey. Look, Ma, CYBERDRIFTER is on the front page of Steam. Did you ring your mum up and tell her?
I did, yes. She was very proud, yes. She probably doesn't understand a thing about it, but she was very proud.
It's nice to have a proud mum.
That's it.
Congratulations on that. It's very nice that the two of you could share that special moment. Absolutely. Part of why we do it, folks.
That's exactly why we do it.
Now, what does Scott Wilson create? We've touched upon it. If we were to say CYBERDRIFTER, what would your elevator pitch be for it?
You've always wanted a game like Tron in VR. I've heard it so many times, so I've built one for you.
Tron done right. 3 words, Trinity, Amen. Exactly. 2A then. I thought we'd get a little bit more nuanced.
Sorry.
You nailed us with that answer, but absolutely.
It was a quick elevator trip.
It's a quick elevator trip. It would snip on the cables. Right, to a creative philosophy for Uzi Games. And tell us about it.
The creative process.
Well, first of all, the creative philosophy. What kind of game are you trying to give to your audience?
Yeah. Actually, well, CyberDrifter just started off with a cube. I found a shader that could put a blue glow around the edges of a cube.
Cool.
Put that into a scene, and I looked at it in VR, and I thought, I could build a world around that. And actually, Tron wasn't really even in my mind. It was just the neon colour and the black vastness of VR that really stuck out to me. And I thought, let me try and build a world in that. So I did that. I did a few robots, I did a gun, started shooting them, and that's how CyberDrifter was born. But I learn most of my stuff from YouTube. If I can't figure out how to do something, I'll go on YouTube, find something that's kind of close to what I'm trying to figure out, and then kind of use that as my basis and try and code around it. But as I told you before last week when you were speaking to Dan, I don't code as in type code. I use macros. I use a thing in Unreal 4 called blueprint coding. So I don't actually type code, but I use macros. There's still a lot of thought and work and a lot of troubleshooting goes into it.
Of course. Now, that's very interesting, actually, because our next question is about that, because obviously we have an 8-bit gaming background in terms of having the 64. We have that in common. You had the VIC-20. We didn't have the VIC-20, but we had a friend that did. He moved on to the Commodore 64, inspired us, a friend, to get the Commodore 64. That was the computer we had to have, for that particular Christmas. So 2B, creative process. So do you do things like story mood boards? We're guessing then you don't do machine code assembly, which was very much old school Commodore 64. People like Andrew Braybook of PowerDroid would be at the coalface in terms of machine code. Some programmers would have assembly from what we can remember. We read articles about it. But so are you familiar with programming languages? But you've got the game engine in terms of Unreal 4 that you said. So is it like kind of modularized Lego brick scripts and frameworks?
That's basically it, Kyle. Yeah. Yeah. That's
so
exactly it.
And what we're saying is then is that things have really moved on in terms of coding frameworks, and that to make things that are more, well, art, it's AI, isn't it? In games now, you've got engines and you've got coding frameworks that allow you to perhaps modularize things, so that way you less headaches in terms of machine code, but more kind of being able to get on with it, so to speak. Does that make sense?
Well, if it hadn't been for that way of coding, I probably wouldn't have started, because I'd have had to learn C#, and I wouldn't have had time to do that because I was looking for a job at the same time, But because I could find these building blocks that I could put together myself and make a game out of those, that's what kept me going, So, yeah.
Tim's saying,
thumbs up for Blueprints.
I have thumbs up for Blueprints. Remember reading about Blueprints back when Unreal 4 was being touted, and we thought that sounds cool. Modularized box. Maybe if we ever did want to quote unquote code a game, that would be a potential way in.
Definitely.
Because in some ways it does the heavy lifting in terms of all the kind of complicated stuff, which we when we did our main computer animation, the one thing we really struggled with was scripts and doing fluid dynamics running through a polygon and stuff like that. That used to pickle our brain, and why you've got an asterisk and a star there. It's got its own particular kind of syntax, hasn't it? Like the English language. Tim Alton's saying, one day I hope to make a video game based on my own comic book. Well,
that would be fantastic.
That'd
go for it. Just go for it.
Just go for it, Tim.
I mean, last week you had Dan on, and you've got Josh, the artist, and Dan and Josh are doing a comic, but they're doing multimedia built around it as well and branching out. That's what you've got to do nowadays. Build it up.
And yet, that way, I suppose you get, if you pursue different markets, art, comics, movies, games, and toys. Games now being an even bigger market because it's an interactive movie basically these days. What you have is one market feeding into the other. So you've got 5 revenue streams minimum. If you release it as a soundtrack, as we call the 6th pillar of storytelling, the unofficial 6th pillar, and music is also a very powerful area to get revenue in soundtrack for your game, for example, stuff like that. So revenue streams is where it's at, Tim. He says here, I would imagine it as a Doom style game. Have you got any ideas as to what game you're going to be doing next, Scott, after CyberDrifter?
I've made lots of different prototypes in VR, but I've actually been thinking, do I actually want to make another virtual reality game? Because just it's a constant putting the mask onto your face to test something and back off. I think I would love to just make a flat screen game, and maybe even one that's just on one single screen, not a big, huge, vast world, and just try and concentrate on getting something really, concentrating gameplay more than anything else, and just get a good gameplay hook and then build something around that. I think that's the way I'm going to go next.
A preserve, conserve, jam in a jar, potted gaming spread. Right
Yes.
there on the 2D screen. That sounds good to us. Right then, premise. Are you going to do the movie voice, Scott Wilson, or are we going to do the movie voice? We don't
No,
mind.
you do the movie voice, Kyle. You are the man for that job.
Okay, here we go, folks. Enter the neon-lit world of cyberspace, armed with your data disk and cybercycle to end the spread of a virtualized virus in VR.
Brilliant.
Now, just to spend a moment just enjoying that CYBERDRIFTER image. We're loving that. That is what we call Tron kind of sexy.
Definitely.
Right then, tell you what, we need to do a better trailer, don't we? To show.
Yes, go for it. Show it. I love it. I love this trailer. There was a man called Virtual Chap that done this trailer. If you ever want a trailer done in virtual reality, contact this guy.
Right, and we shall do so. Let's add this to the stage and hit the play button. Let's go for it. Tell you what, that is just too good. We like that.
What a job. What a job he did of it. Absolutely amazing.
Well, what do you say about that? Just top banana.
Thank you.
That is what we call. We love it. We love it loads. Wow. What a couple of trailers. Those just sell the game. Who's your trailer guy again?
Virtual Chap.
Virtual Chap. I'll tell you what, Virtual Chap rocks on both of those. He's
the man.
You've got the magic and he's sold the magic. Boom,
That's it. I laid the groundwork, but he put the fascia on the house.
Yeah, we'll go with that. Absolutely. I tell you what, we might have to play that again later. It's just so good. All right then. I tell you what, just trying to recover from that. Hey, we like our games. We get a little bit excited. Right then, we've got a series of images that we pulled from your Steam page, as opposed to your YouTube. We thought we'll go straight to the core.
Yeah.
We'll go to Steam, and we're going to show you a series of images from your game. And if you could explain to our audience who are in the now, and to the audience in the future who will also be watching it in the now, exactly what's going on each image. So this one.
So this is the approach to the first hub that you come to. So you start off on the actual cyber cycle. I thought that would be a good buzz to get started in the virtual reality. So you go over a ramp, you go through a tunnel, you come to this point, you get stopped at a checkpoint. Yeah, these guys will start shooting at you. You'll kill those. One of them will drop their helmet. You need to put their helmet on to get through this part in the centre. Once you've got the helmet on, your disc will turn red, and then you can pass security and take you on to the next section. Spoilers.
Yes, spoilers. All right, next one. Tell us, what's he holding in his hand? It looks cool.
He's got the famous orange disc.
I'll tell you what.
He's about to take out this dude that's going to try and take him down. And at the moment, this is you at the very start of Cyber City.
So it's a journey into Cyber City, yeah.
Journey into Cyber City, yes.
And there's various checkpoints, and you've got some neon bad dudes that you've got to just kind of hollow
slice and dice.
Slice and dice, man. We're talking Samurai Oxo Neon Lit Edition.
Yes, exactly, Kyle.
We can see over there, it says no entry. You think that's going to stop us with a hollow disc? Think again, folks.
We're going to hack our way through that.
We're going to hack our way through that. Now, tell us about this bit.
Seems like so this is the actual beginning, as I said. Yeah, so just after the tutorial, the first thing I thought, let the guys and gals that are playing jump onto the bike and test the bike out and approach the very first section on the bike. So that's this.
Tell you what, that looks absolutely pretty. High speed, but you know, with Scott Wilson, you're in safe hands.
I was actually thinking of Strider as well. I don't know if you've played Strider, but right at the start of Strider, he comes in on a hang glider and then begins the game. So that was kind of in the back of my mind as well.
Ah, yes. I'll tell you what, you got the perfect 80s colour scheme there with
totally.
And Cyber Cyan.
Yes. There's a lot of blue and pink in my game.
We can go with that. 80s blue, 80s pink.
Yes.
Whoa, what we got here?
Yes, so this is in the access point, and this is very neon. Actually, the lights in the tunnel are like flicking on and off in a certain direction. It actually kind of reminds me of Vertigo, the Alfred Hitchcock movie, with when he had like the lines coming towards you. But as you go through that tunnel, yes, this is you going to get the gravity gun. So there's a gravity gun in the game, so you can gravitate to other platforms that you can't walk to. You can also, when you kill an enemy, it will drop a green cube orb. So you can either crush that in your hand after you've, force pulled it towards you. So you can either crush that in the hand to fill up your energy or your heart. Or you can use the grav gun to grab the cube, and then you can fire that back at the enemies as like a rocket. So gives a bit of difference from just throwing the disc as well, you know.
Yeah, so you've got different devices that later on that mix and match things for you and add strategic elements to navigating this CyberDrifter.
I also wanted to add that I've just added the gun back in. Just before I released, I brought out a big patch, a big update, and at that time Tron Ares was coming out, and I was like, well, just take out the gun and just let everybody use the disc. And when I put out that big update, I went with that. And since then, I've had some feedback that people really enjoyed using the gun. And even though the gun is still in the arcade section, I've decided to bring that back into the main section. So you've got the choice of using a disc or a gun. So
yes, we remember catching that debate on Twitter, and you had a bit of feedback there. So it's what's really cool.
It's choice, isn't it? You give the gamer choice. I mean, they don't have to use the gun at all if they don't, or they don't have to use the disc at all if they want. So
you're giving the gamers a choice, which is always good, and people will actually surprise you by what they prefer. You know,
exactly.
You take the gun out, and then somebody says, "Hang on a minute, I quite like using that." You know, so you've got choice. We like choice. We approve. Yeah, that just looks like Vertigo Neon Heaven. We like that. We like that. Right. Oh, things are hotting up here. Tell us about this.
Yes, this is you getting close to the main server. So yeah, there's a big battle goes on in this stage. So you've got dude throwing discs back at you. You've got the dashers. These guys will shoot at you, and then they will dash to some other point in the map, and then fire from you, and then dash. Because animating people running and jumping over obstacles and that is a lot of work for a solo dev. So I thought I'll make them dash there, quickly, and then they'll stop at a point, and then they'll shoot, and then dash to another point. So that was a workaround for a lot more animation work, But yeah, this is getting close to the end server.
And you've got, again, you're kind of expanding the palette here. It's all got that neon energy. I have to say, I really like that. Really like that. Yep. And you've got a depth of obstacles and space. It's we like the way it all hangs on this kind of noir black as well. Canvas of black. Right, and wow, this one looks like Vertigo. We're speaking of Vertigo. We're a bit high up here. How do we navigate?
Yeah. And with me being scared of heights, making this level was lots of fun. But this is the one that you really need the grav gun to get from one bit to the other as you make your way down to the main server. So you start off in the access point. You get the grav gun by making your way across that top walkway. Then you make your way back and then start grav gunning your way down and taking out enemies on the way.
Tell you what,
it's very high up, and there's a big fan at the bottom, and for me it gives me vertigo, so hopefully it'll give other people it as well.
That looks like it's going to be a challenging space to navigate, especially the thing about heights, as one or two of us have. Tell you what, but it looks beautifully convincing.
I actually had that bit in Star Wars where he goes, what's the guy's name? I forgot the guy's name. With the cloak, he goes into the Empire and pulls down the terminal to turn the shields off.
Oh, Darth Maul.
Yeah, that was that section I had in mind when I was actually building this.
Very good.
Big vertical shaft, yeah.
Maul's in episode 4.
Ben Kenobi. Imagine not being able to remember Ben Kenobi.
Well, yes, we were thinking as soon as we saw this. This is Ben Kenobi, New Hope, turning off the kind of Death Star tractor beam. That's what it is.
That's exactly it, Kyle.
And just that sense of, well, it's quite high up there. You'd have to be a Jedi Knight to not be scared of that particular height situation. But yes, it's a Ben Kenobi situation where our path is on a different destiny to yours. Yeah, I know. Never mind, Luke. He was a nice old guy. We liked him. Our favourite Star Wars character, to be sure. Now, tell us about what's going on here, Scott.
Yeah. So this is you. So this is quite near the start, actually. Just after that checkpoint, you make yourself your way up to the towers because you can't get through into this hub that's ahead of you. So you make your way up the towers. There's an enemy ship that stops and drops off enemies. So you make your way onto that enemy ship, and then you hang glide from the top of the enemy ship into the hub. So you're actually using their equipment to invade their base, I thought. So I thought that'd be pretty neat. And then once you get in there, that's you in the central hub. So you wipe out these bad guys, and then you go inside the door there, and there's a puzzle in there to do.
I'll tell you what, it sounds like the kind of pyramid and the Apex style design there. That's pretty good. And the vector sky, which is pretty cool. You've thought about how the vectors can represent different things, from the sky to a reactor, to buildings, to height, to a city, to a neon lit floor, being neon lit concrete. It's we like the way it's virtualized in vector. How about that?
Brilliant.
Right then, here we go. We've got some roasting red and a hot situation. We've got
So as you're in Cyber City, sorry.
Is this an access point we've got to get past then to get in the city?
Yes, yeah. So once you get into Cyber City, it's actually blue, but once you get closer to the enemy's server hub area, it starts to become red. So this is you getting closer to the access point. So this is where you need a helmet to access this door that's ahead of you. There's a security camera there. So you take out these enemies, dudes here, then you can access that door, which will take you into a security area. And inside that security area, there's actually two guys who look like Daft Punk in Tron Legacy, when you actually see them DJing at a certain point. So I tried to copy that, but use them as like 2 security guards, but one of them's beating away to the music.
Of course.
While the guy's doing the security duties. So that's
A
that
bit
section there.
Bit of NPC life, you know.
Yes.
Make the setting more convincing. Give your characters something to do. Yeah.
Exactly.
And Tron style DJing with neon vibes sounds good to us. Do you come with the helmet? Do you have to pick it up, or can you just?
You get off one of those enemies once you take them out. Yeah, one of them will drop.
We think that's clever. Take them out.
Just
take
the helmet. You can get it.
Sounds cool to us. Take him out. Take his helmet. Wow. And what we like here is the way you've got thematic narrative color.
Yeah.
So red for danger, blue for the city. You get something that's a little bit forbidden or an access point. It's red for danger. Was that a conscious thing? Did you get mood boards, or did you just?
That was a conscious thing. Yeah. Start to gradually go to the red as you get closer to the enemy base. Yeah.
Right. And do you know in the way you work? Do you actually have any sketch pads or any scrapbooks, or is it being in the VR environment? It's more of a kind of virtual paint shop.
I have 1,000 notebooks with a lot of different coding and lots of little drawings and stuff. Yeah, but a lot of the stuff I actually put together inside the game, mostly like Lego building blocks. The same way Hideo Kojima put Metal Gear Solid together with building blocks. That's kind of the way I went.
Lego bricks sounds good to us. Modular heaven.
Yeah, exactly.
And was that instinctive then, that process? To actually
it felt that way once I started doing it. Yeah. So I never actually done any conceptual drawings or anything like that. You know, it just kind of came to me as I was going. You know, I'd make a section, make this section interesting, then make another section, make it interesting. So I kind of didn't do it the way most game developers do, which they'll make a big grey world and everything's made out of grey blocks, and then they'll put their gameplay in, and then right at the very end they'll start putting the visuals on top. Whereas I was like building with my visuals at the start, you know, so that's the way I went. It worked for me. So.
We like the fact that we often mention this in indie comics, indie games. Everybody gets the chance to do it their way, rather than a creation by committee process where you've got to do it this way. It's always been done that way. And that's maybe why you don't get the definitive Tron game, because somebody can come away along and think independently from Scotland, where else, and actually, do it their way as a fan of maybe the movie, and saying, well, this is how you do a Tron game, by thinking independently and out of that corporate box committee.
Yep.
Yes.
Exactly.
Now then, a little birdie tells us that you backed Biophile Colga of Godfather Universe.
I had to. I mean, I watched Dan last week and his passion and Josh's artwork, and I thought, I've got to check all of this out. So I took the whole shebang, and I can't wait to get my hands on it.
It is an absolutely mother ton of download. If you get the whole thing, a Polygon 20 XX and Biophile, and you'll have 2 coming down the track for around about February, March, is it? And it's just so much. It is a fantastic concept. Josh is really banging on the art. You know, it's dark sea, drown in it type stuff, and Dan is going to be one of the last bastions of Western civilization who'll go down with that ship. Yes, what we like. We're not going down without a fight, Braveheart style, you know. Sons of Scotland and so forth. So yes, shout out to Josh.
And just to Dan and Josh. Great guys.
Yeah, just great guys. Yeah, it's nice when you get that cross-pollination. That's the whole thing about art, comics, movies, games, and toys. You've got this big umbrella of storytelling, but all these threads, this golden thread, can go through the eyes of the needles and tie things together, you know, in terms of creative revenue. You know, they've got the game thing going on, as you mentioned, yeah? And they've got an impressive website too.
Brilliant. And I hadn't heard of anything about this till last week, till I watched your show, so it just goes to show you.
It just goes to show you that, you know, just by one little pebble in the pond, and all of a sudden you've got something that happens, you know,
All it takes.
all it takes. Now then, why do you, Scott, create indie games? Is it that creative freedom to be able to create a Tron style game without the movie company getting in the way or having to talk to lawyers? When did your journey with indie games begin?
Yeah. Well, I wasn't really big into indie games till I started making my own. Actually, you know. I mean, I'd heard about them. I hadn't really played them. I just thought they were just this other thing. I was like Mario, all the triple A's and stuff like that, you know. So it wasn't until I started making my own game that I thought I'm going to start looking at other people's games, and then that's when you start learning a lot because you start to say, well, maybe I could have done that better, or I would have thought of a different way of doing that, but they've actually thought of a better way of doing that. I could bring that over into my coding and that. So that is, I think, the best way to learn about making a game is playing loads and loads of indie games, good ones and bad ones. You'll learn probably more from a bad indie game than you will from a good indie game.
And isn't that true enough? It just, you know, you want to write, read, you want to play, you want to be a game developer, play games. And like you say, learning from one that has a way to go, you'll think, well, maybe I won't do that. I'll do this instead, because you can see the flaws in somebody else's approach. Yeah.
Exactly.
And we noticed that your X space is quite the hub of other indie game devs. For example, Days, shout out to her,
She's
who's
doing
doing the
so
Flappy
good.
game.
Yeah. Flappy Bird game.
You know, the Flappy Bird game. And the way, for example, I don't remember the guy's name begins with a B. Boom Stick, was it
Boomer,
Boom?
yeah, it was a Boomer, I think.
Boomer Stick or something like that. And
Yeah, something
Boomer,
like that. Yeah, Boomstick, something like that. Yeah.
yeah, and basically Boomer said, why don't you have the backgrounds change as you go along, so it creates that narrative tension and journey of things hotting up, and then the background starts to change, and all of a sudden you've got a fire to press the button, which opens the pipe up, so you can get through it without crashing and being taken out. Because obviously, if you're a bird and you run into a steel pipe, it's going to hurt.
Yes.
So yeah, but we like the fact that you actually try and celebrate and support other game developers with shout outs and feedback and positivity. And we think that on social media, what we would say is that the currency that makes the world go round on social media is grace, gratitude, you know, gentleness, generosity, you know.
Yep.
And that's basically how we can lift one another up. A rising tide lifts all boats.
Exactly.
Exactly. We think so.
What I'd love
Yeah.
to say to indie devs as well is
Go on.
you have these like shout outs on Twitter where somebody will say post all your games on this tweet. And I would like to say to game devs, see when you post your game on to one of those tweets, like every other game that's on that tweet, and if they do the same back, that's how seeds grow.
That's how seeds grow, and it's also an algo buster, isn't it? Because obviously the algorithm responds to what's hot. Yeah. So if we think it only takes us a couple of seconds to do 10 likes in a thread, then everybody
you'll make somebody's day by doing that.
And also you'll make somebody's day, Scott, by doing that. You know, it only takes what we say that the one thing that we do with the 5 pillars of storytelling, the main thing is grace is the foundation of the guiding star. But it's we say what we do is a gentle word.
Exactly.
That's all it takes, you know. Yep. Right then. Question number 4 after we've done of the big 5. What advice would you give aspiring indie game creators? Somebody who's young, maybe these days you can have an entire family that want, or a father and son that want to develop a game together. What's your advice?
Yeah. Do your due diligence, plan it out. Don't just jump in there and think about what you're going to make, and remember it's going to take some time. So whatever is hip at the moment, by the time you've made your game, it might not be hip and they've moved on to something else. So that's always a big guessing game. What other things? Just do a lot of due diligence. Look into other game creators on Twitter and look at their journeys, their game journeys, because that's where you'll get your best knowledge. These guys that have made Doom and that, they didn't start off as rock superstars. They started off like me and Kyle, and they learnt their craft through other people.
Yeah.
And they've took all that knowledge on board, and they're quite happy to share it if you're willing to learn it. So take it on board. That would be my advice.
That is liquid gold advice, folks, from our resident creative in-house expert tonight. And truth. And what we would say is, you know, if you get stuck, is there anywhere you can go to? Would you look at YouTube or just hit social media and ask questions from your indie game dev heroes? Yeah,
YouTube's my go-to place. Or if I'm stuck going, if you're Unreal in Unreal Engine forums or Unity, go on the Unity forums. People are always happy to help. So yeah, don't be scared to ask a question. Everybody's asked a question.
Like you said with the id boys, once upon a time they weren't rock stars and they were just starting out. You know,
exactly.
We've all been there in terms of starting out. You know?
We all start with a dream.
We all start with perfection. We all start with a dream, folks, and that's the starting point. We all start with a dream. Yeah, don't be frightened to ask. You know, you'll never know.
No.
Right then, that's a beautiful image, by the way. Tell us about this orange guy.
This is just as you take them out with the disc. This is them starting to disintegrate or de-res, as they would say. De-resed in Tron, yeah.
I tell you what, we call that scorching. I mean, you know.
Yeah, it looks great in virtual reality when you're really close to them and the orange glows in your face just as they're disintegrating. It looks great. If I say so myself.
Yeah, you got to say so yourself. You know, you got to do that. And I tell you what, do they tremor a bit when they get the old de-res?
They do a little wiggly dance, yeah, just as they go, yeah.
Wiggly dance with the old dead fly dance, yeah. Got to do that. Absolutely love that. Absolutely, yeah. Because on this show we listen and share. So the advice you're giving, if somebody younger watches it or somebody who thinks, you know what, Scott's saying, you know, you can actually start with a dream and take it from there. You know, Unreal Engine, you can earn quite a bit of money before you start to pay royalties. Yes. So it's quite a powerful tool to use. It's got building blocks in it. You've got YouTube videos, and you've got people, actually indie game devs are actually on social media, so you can shout them out a question, see if they reply to you. You know, so
exactly. You know? Do
it. Now, got one of our staples. And the top 5 questions is, what superhero would you be, Scott?
Yeah, has to be Batman, doesn't it?
Batman, very popular. Why would you choose Batman, Scott?
Because he's Batman.
We don't often get people who are Scottish on the show, so you know what we're going to ask you now, don't we? You know, if you've watched the Michael Keaton Batman, which we know you have,
yes.
Can you do the "I'm Batman" voice?
I am Batman.
Well, that's a liberal dose of Scottish.
That's more like Gerard Butler in that film. What is it? With
300.
Exactly.
Hey, we're going to go for that. That's going to be an immortal I Am Batman, Braveheart, Gerald Butler 300 star. We love that one. We don't think we could top that. And we've got another question. Of course, you've talked about id. You talked about having a VIC-20. You had the legendary Commodore 64, as did we. Peace out. 5A, had to insert this extra one for you. Who is your all-time programming hero?
Miyamoto. I love Nintendo stuff. He just oozes gameplay. That man knows how to make a game. So, Shigeru Miyamoto.
Tell you what, that's a great shout. Which game of his would it be? I mean, remember the Edge going gaga for Super Mario 64, which was once described by Dominic Diamond on game on the game. You've met him, have you?
Yes.
He's a decent chap in real life.
He's lovely.
He's lovely. Remember him saying the N64 was the Pamela Anderson of consoles.
You can't beat that, can you?
So which Miyamoto game would you go for?
Right, well, during my gameplay journey from the Atari to the Commodore to the Amiga and then on to consoles, when I first started, the first game I can remember playing was like Kangaroo, and that was just like there were 3 screens, and I always thought I would love a game where you just move through the screens. Next thing came Mario, and then when I was playing Mario, I thought, wouldn't it be great if you could go into the screen? And then came Mario 64, and I would say Mario 64 was the one that made 3D games what they are today.
Absolutely, that was a rival, wasn't it, for 3D games?
What a game! I mean, I'd played Spyro the Dragon before, which was a 3D game, but they just hadn't the mechanics right. And Mario 64 just got them spot on. And with those analog controllers, just made it brilliant to
tell you what,
move the little guy.
I tell you what, our guiding star managed to get 96 stars out of 100.
Brilliant, yeah. Oh, I had to do everything in that game and get Yoshi at the end as well, yeah.
We helped her on one where it's almost like a wooden cage and you had to jump up with almost pixel precision, which you had on the Commodore 64, of course, but we were doing this on the N64. And you had to up, zigzag up and just touch that gold star. Yeah, memories. But yes, a brilliant game. Edge, I think, gave it, was it 9? I think it was actually 10 out of 10. I think there were Edge were gaga over it. I think there were. Well, now, gotta ask, we have memories of going in the arcades. We've done Defender, Bubble, put far too many 10 pieces into that in a Norfolk seaside town, classified location. And just, £1 worth of 10 pences, in you go. And our best was around about 55 to 60 out of 100 before Bubble Bobble went beyond our dexterity to actually play that game. You have your kind of thermal limit as a gamer. Well, we met ours and Bubble Bobble around about 55 to 60, and then this is too quick for us. It's like the same reason we wouldn't drive a Lamborghini. We'd probably hand the keys back after a week after driving at 30.
Exactly, yeah.
Just we're just not going to handbrake into a car park. We'll end up taking out the entire shopping precinct. So we're coming to the question. Punisher and Nick Fury, that was also very good. Streets of Rage style game. And another one, Space Harrier. We clobbered that game with 10 pences until we completed it. What is your favorite all-time coin-based arcade game?
Golden Axe.
Golden Axe.
Loved that game. And then when I got it on my Mega Drive, I played it to death.
Yeah, we did about that on Commodore 64. Did you ever do Gauntlet? Wizard is about to die.
I never played that. But I seen like screenshots in magazines of that, but I never ever came across an arcade machine that actually had it. But I wanted to try it because it looked so different.
Hey, wait a minute. We've got low-hanging fruit here. Favorite VIC-20 game?
God. Was Manic Miner and Jet Set Willy on the VIC-20?
Yeah. I think they got versions. 64 did. The Spectrum lived and died by those games. No. We played Tony Crowther's Blagger on the Commodore 64. Do you remember Tony Crowther?
Yes, I remember the cover.
Express and Bug Blaster did a few others. Actually, he was probably our second favorite coder. Probably just something about the way he did games. Favorite Commodore 64 game?
Turrican.
Turrican,
yeah. Turrican was at 64, wasn't it? Yeah.
That with the Omni shooting thing and blasting away scenery and that. Yep. We used to have dreams about that game, but we never actually played it. Explain that. We can't.
That was brilliant.
Turrican. One day we're going to have to try that on a Commodore 64 emulator. Okay, our favorite Commodore 64 game was obviously making caves on the Baldash construction kit. Right. We did about 50 games on analog tape, and then we had this one game done to perfection, so we thought, and then one of our friends just popped our balloon by just clicking on a diamond and completed the cave. And we're thinking, yes, we spent hours designing this, but told us that game design, you got to have somebody else check it. And they
yes, exactly.
We've got another one for you. Amiga, favorite game?
Shadow of the Beast. Even though it wasn't great to play, just those graphics were amazing from Psygnosis.
Okay, we've got to ask this. Jeff Minter, legend. He's probably our favorite program on the 64. Then Crowther, and then probably Braybrook, who did the excellent Paradroid. You know, the old brain subversion.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, Mr. Machine Code himself, Braybrook, and then Uridium, which was nice and shiny, but Paradroid was where it was at. So,
Yep.
favorite Jeff Minter game?
It's got to be Tempest 2000 on the Atari Jaguar. I played that game to death.
The failed Sun Dwarf Star Atari Jaguar, but I tell you what, for us, the flagship game on it was the Tempest 2000 by Minter. It was just eye-burningly good.
Yep, it was worth buying that console just for that game.
Amen to that, Scott. That's what we say.
Yep.
Jeff Minter just singing it, going back to his Atari roots. Absolutely.
Thank you, Jeff Minter.
Thank you, Jeff Minter. All hail. Armasoft. Oh, yes. And we also did like Ancipital and Aridus Alpha, which were just, to borrow a phrase from our younger days, Zarjaz.
Yes.
Okay, come on, Kyle, behave yourself. Right then. So we know who your programming, your gaming hero is. Now, bonus questions. Don't worry. You won't need a big glass window and a Lloyd from The Simpsons to break out. Escape. Right then. What are your plans for Uzi Games going forwards? You've done the thing twice. What's next?
The very next thing is to upgrade the engine, because I'm on an old version of Unreal Engine 4, and a lot of the new SDKs for picking up the headsets, like the Pico and stuff, they just don't work. And Virtual Desktop doesn't work, which hasn't been great for launch because a lot of people use that. So I'm going to have to upgrade the engine to maybe Unreal 4.27 or Unreal 5, and then get it on the Quest standalone store, because that's where the big bucks are. Not that I'm just doing this for the money, but I'd love a bit of money in so I can start developing my next game and keep me going, you know. So that's the plans at the moment.
So Quest is the game mecca in terms of exposure and revenue.
Yeah. PC VR at the moment isn't doing so well, you know. It's just because of plugging a wire into your PC and sticking it in your headset. Everybody wants to be able to walk around freely, you know. So I get it, you know.
Yeah. Wow, that's gonna be interesting. Yes, people actually want the mobility of the headset rather than being tethered, is what you're saying.
Yeah. So, I mean, the difference in the weight at the moment is fantastic as well. They're all becoming a lot more better to use, so that's a great for VR.
You haven't got that suction cup kind of pink line around your face anymore.
No.
Has it changed a bit?
Do you remember that meme with Jeff Gershman when he first tested it? They took it off and had the big red line across his face.
That's
Thankfully,
right.
that doesn't happen any longer, unless you've been doing something I don't know you've been doing. But yeah, anyway, they are getting a lot better to use, so which is great. But it's always going to be an issue as you're putting something on your face at the end of the day. That's always going to be an issue for somebody, you know.
Is it going to be either VR immersion walking around, you think, prophesizing a bit here, a bit of guesstimating, or is it going to be a mix of that with a translucency, almost glasses, Google Glasses style, so you can see reality and mix the game environment with your environment? What's your
it's like the Oculus Quest that has that mixed reality that you can actually use your phone while you've still got the headset on and still use its color, and it's in great resolution. So I think that's a great way to go, and then maybe have the virtual reality, as you say, transparently there, so you can always see your background.
We obviously, as part of our background checks, we sent our crack team of espionage hunters to your X space, and we scrolled down a bit and we saw this Mario game being played in that mixed reality kind of fashion. That looked almost gave it's super cool, and it gives older games a new lease of life. What do you think?
Exactly.
Yeah. So then, okay then, it's looking like 2D going forwards for you, to break from all that virtual reality.
Yeah.
While perhaps the field settles a bit with new technology and the interoperability. Yes.
Yes.
Right. Favorite pizza.
Favorite
This is
pizza.
our fun round. What's your favorite pizza, Scott?
I like a tropical pizza, so I like my pineapple on there,
Good.
and my ham and my cheese. Quite pretty boring to be actually to be
Tell you what, when you're
truthful.
starving, Scott,
Yes,
boring pizza is where we're living and breathing right now.
exactly.
We could actually eat our hand right now. That's not our drawing hand, folks. This is our drawing hand. It's just the way the
But
mirror works.
I would like to add, I do like a deep fried pizza.
Oh yes, tell us about that.
Yes.
Deep fried pizza. How does that work? You just
You
like a
get a
deep fry?
pizza, you put it in the deep fat fryer
You're
for a
kidding.
couple of minutes. It's usually you get it at a chip shop and they'll dip it. It's a Scottish tradition. They'll stick a pizza into the deep fat fryer, fry it for a few minutes, put it on a newspaper, and there you go. And it's beautiful.
And with a deep fried battered Mars bar for dessert.
Yeah, I'm not very keen on them actually. Yeah.
We tried them. How do they actually taste? We've not actually tried one of those yet.
If you can imagine batter in a melted Mars bar, that's what it tastes like. It's very sweet.
Doesn't taste too good, folks. Tell you what, it sounds like Icarus burning bright on the way to the sun before going to heaven, because we're not sure how all that plays with your heart, but it sounds like for that moment in time that you're enjoying it, that a deep fried pizza is going to taste the best thing ever.
Oh, it does. Trust me, it does.
What's your favorite? You're based in Aberdeen. What's your favorite thing about Aberdeen? Because true story, we actually went up on a train to Scotland.
Yeah.
We went across the Forth Bridge, where it feels like you're actually flying. That's how high you're up. Great if you love heights, as we do.
Yes.
And we're going to see a guy who originally from Thailand called Tom, and shout out to Tom. And he sold us a Mazda Mark II MX-5, and he was from Aberdeen. Lovely architecture around Aberdeen. And we went inside, helped him pick up the hardtop and put it on and that, and he drove us around and gave us a go around some lovely roads and lovely scenery. Nice kind of misty Scottish weather, Scottish weather. So, what's your favourite? When we drove that all the way back, it was like a kind of hornet holding all the curves, no messing. Before we unfortunately had an accident. Somebody who probably had Christmas sherry kind of should say jackknifed us at a four-way. So we didn't get in a car for months after that. Eventually, we replaced the MX-5 Mark II with a Mini.
Right, okay. That's a bit of a change.
Not a bit of a change, but not the old-fashioned one, real deal.
Yeah, yeah.
It was Italian job style kind of new version with the Union Jack top and wing mirrors. We really love that.
Yeah, they're nice.
Till the ABS went, and then that's a £1,100 bill, man. Got to move on to the Mazda MX-5 Mark III, which was lovely. Right, us pizza, we're down with the pineapple. We're fine with that. Although some previous chats, they've got a thing against pineapple. Personally, if you're hungry, you're going to eat pineapple, man.
Oh yeah.
Right then, Scott, it's that time of show where we want to know where can they find out more information about CYBERDRIFTER, Uzi Games, where you're based, where can we go to buy it and try it out if you've got a VR headset?
Yeah, so CYBERDRIFTER's currently on the Steam store. It'll be on the Meta store and the Viveport store and the Humble Bundle store next week once the store stuff gets sorted out. You can always find me on Twitter. I'm a big Twitterer, as Kyle probably noticed. So if you ever want to contact me, go on Twitter, you'll find me there.
I'll tell you what, Steam powered heaven, folks. I tell you what, we've been enjoying interacting with Scott on X. I'll tell you for why. He absolutely nails it in terms of inter-community support. He's very generous with his likes. And we like to do that with our new followers, with our old followers. We try and sprinkle them about a bit so it improves their X space for the algorithm and the content. It's a rising tide lift all boats. And the one thing we can say about Scott is he's a team player. Absolutely. By the way, you're living in the VR world for quite a while. Yes. How's Mrs. Scott Wilson taking that, your fiance?
She's fine. She's a bit of a TV show binge watcher anyway, like, so she just focuses on that. We're actually in a studio flat, so I don't have a bedroom or an office. So I'm up in this section of the room, and the missus is here. So we're not far away from each other, and we're not in opposite rooms, you know. So if we ever want to speak to each other, we're just there, you know. So.
And you're both still alive?
We're still alive, yeah.
Just
this kind of started from COVID, so it's been a few years we've been totally in this same room together, so it's a good test of the relationship.
Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah. Sounds like you've got a foundational shoulder-to-shoulder partner, and I tell you what.
Exactly. I mean, if it wasn't for her, I wouldn't have been able to do what I do, because she's supported me quite a lot through this, so yeah.
A shout out to the
big shout out to Sharon.
Big shout out to Sharon. Well done. You know, we often make a point of that when it comes to indie comics, as saying, like, if you've got a supportive partner, it makes all the world a difference if you're on the same page in life, you know?
Oh, totally.
Absolutely. It makes a big, big difference.
Without a doubt.
Now, what can we say? Team player, a guest that reminds us of home, reminds us that one day, all things being equal, if it doesn't happen sooner, we'll just get up, walk out the door, and walk it if we have to go home.
Do it.
Anybody who knows us knows what I mean. And we will, as night follows day. A beautiful place, and we can't wait to go home. Brilliant. Thank you very much for being our special guest, Scott Wilson.
I'm honoured. You're welcome, Kyle.
You are, what a strong arm for the community. A dancing kilt avatar in a VR headset, 2 games, and now he's going flat, folks. He's going old school flat. And we're going to wish you well. You've been an excellent guest.
Thank you.
It's nice to go through a time machine to those 8-bit glory days, right from the VIC-20 to the Commodore 64 to the Amiga, right through to Super Mario 64 and that Miyamoto classic 10 out of 10 Edge game. And somebody who gets gaming, and somebody who's representing Scotland, where else? Aberdeenshire. And it's now an indie gaming capital, you know? So we want to wish you well, Scott Wilson.
Thank you.
Uzi Games, and Godspeed, yeah?
Thank you very much, Kyle.
No problem.
Thanks for watching, guys.
And it's nice to shine a bit of light on Scott, CYBERDRIFTER, and Uzi Games. Please like, comment, and subscribe to us on X and YouTube. And check out Scott's game on Steam. Got a demo up there for people to try it?
I have, yes. There's a demo on there, and there's a demo in the Meta Store. Well,
I'll tell you what we're going to do. We're going to say, God bless you, sir. And thank you for coming on our show. An honor and a privilege. What we're going to do now is play our outro music, like so. God bless you, sir. How did that go?